Sad scenario right here, y'all. Let's take a look at and see what happened. Right.
Hey, Chris, how do you feel about walking into court today? Hi. Do you think you'll get a fair trial? You know, there's a new jury. Do you think $90 million the housekeeper's asking for is excessive? Great, thanks, Chris.
Yo, Chris Brown just got hit with a massive verdict, and this one is not about music, and not about tour dates, not about fan drama. A jury just ordered Chris Brown to pay nearly $13 million after his former housekeeper won a civil lawsuit over a dog attack at his California home. Now listen, this case goes all the way back to 2020.
Damu. What's up, Papa? What's happening?
What's his name? Damu, sit. Sit. Sit.
No.
Sit. Sit. Yeah, handshake. 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 Hey, Damu. Handshake. Cause I'm a dog too. Treat her like a
Probably
dog.
smelling them damn pants you done had on for 8 years. All right, cool, Pop. Go, come on, let's go.
Maria Avilia, who worked as a housekeeper, claimed she was taking out the trash at Chris Brown's property when she was suddenly attacked by one of the dogs on the property. And according to the lawsuit, this was not a small bite situation. She claimed the attack left her with a permanent facial disfigurement, scarring, vision issues, and nerve damage. That is why this case got so serious. A jury found Chris Brown.
All right, man, bro, talking too goddamn much. All right, so pretty much, we just heard the gist of it. Man, this shit's sad, man. Like the bad thing about this is, all right. So after the mauling happened, right? You seen how big these fucking dogs is, right? Just showed you pictures of a few of his dogs. The fact that he knew he had housekeeping over and these dogs can get aggressive somewhat. You see how big they are, right? I'm just thinking like a normal sized woman, bro. She ain't gonna be able to overpower no dog that's at least 100 pounds. Right? He has multiple dogs that are over 100 pounds. So yeah, man. He should have had them dogs locked up, man. Like you got housekeeping, right? That's kind of stupid. Pretty much what he said was he was heading to the shower and he heard his dogs like growling and stuff near the front. So he came to the front and saw her, you know, pretty much at the tail end of her being mauled. And he heard, some screams as he got closer. Now, he said that when he saw her, he was shocked, right? Just due to the amount of blood that he saw. Right? He saw her face. Right? So he knew that, some of her face was literally looked like it been chewed like a steak, like a dog bite. Her arms and stuff like that. The dog was going to work. And he said that he called the security over, right? And then he dipped. You know, and then he tried to come up with an excuse of saying he didn't want any bad publicity. Right? So, that just goes to, having influence, right? He's a celebrity. But he cares more about his celebrity status than being a human being. Right? You see someone severely hurt at the hands of some of your pets. And the first thing you can think to do is to run away without calling the police. Somebody's hurt. Right? That's just being a human being. So the fact that he cared more about his celebrity, didn't want to get any bad press out, and felt that it was cool to just dip without calling the police, bruh. It's kind of fucked up, you know? And once it came out the severity of the attack, bro, she had to get, I think they said over 80 stitches, bro, multiple surgeries. She has permanent permanent disfiguration of her face. She has to go the rest of her life with a disfigured face. Do you know how hard it's gonna be for her in society? Say for instance, if she was, you know, unmarried or whatever the scenario is. Now she has to go through life with a different, uh, well, a different look. She has to go about life differently. Um, Different judgment, just all that stuff. I believe she needed some mail. You know, uh, when she first tried to go for 90 mil, yeah, that's a little crazy, right? That's a little crazy. Um, but then again, who's to say? Like who can put value on someone's appearance, right? I can't put value on her appearance. You know, uh, so that 90 mil, the 90 mil case, they got a mistrial, right? And then it ended up coming back with a $13 million suit. And that ended up being granted. So, now he's out 13 M's. Man, Chris Brown worth so much money, bro. That 13 ain't gonna touch his ass at all. He may feel like that's still a lot, but it's not, bro. You know, especially when it comes to the scenario at hand, like you just dipped. Bro, she could have died right there on your porch, okay? These big ass dogs, if you ain't got the common sense to one, train your dogs to not be so aggressive. Two, lock their ass up when you know you finna have a cleaning session or something like that. You know somebody's coming through, right? You know these are big ass dogs, and that's like it's just common sense, bro. You should think about something like that, right? What's the chance of this dog, doing something crazy when I'm not around? Maybe I'll lock him up before I leave or before I take a shower, whatever the fuck you was doing, bro. Stupidity. That stupidity costs you, man. 13 M's. But he got that shit, man. Like, yeah, I really don't see it. I don't really see it being out of order, right? Bro is up, like mega up. Motherfucker going on tour right now. A few shows, he paid that. 13. Um, it's unfortunate for her though. Because like I said, this is like nerve damage and like permanent, disfiguration. Man, she didn't deserve that, man. She just a cleaner. You know, the fact that she even had to fight for her money. Probably should have gave her ass a little bit more. Cause I know them fucking doctor bills were expensive. I know they were. I know they were. Right? And then, you with this, bro, I don't even know how to describe that shit. Like that shit's so crazy. You rather dip out versus just trying to save someone's life. Not calling the police when you see someone hurt in danger. All because you a celebrity? Like, how the fuck do you think it looked now, knowing that your dumb ass ran away from the scene? That looks even worse. That looks even worse than some shit happened at your house. You ran away without calling the police, gang. Like, how do you think that looks? Now motherfuckers know you on that. You a super celebrity. Bro, just don't be thinking. But yeah, man, I hope this woman can, carry on through life. Hopefully that 13 M's get her to somewhat of a resolve. I know her face ain't gonna always it isn't gonna be uh back to 100%, but hopefully it's enough to where she can still continue life in a good manner. Chris, man, you goofy, bro. You on goofy time, bro. You never pick your social status over someone else's health, man. Be a human being, gang. Nobody give a fuck about your fucking singing career, nigga. Be a human being first, then be a celebrity. You know, it's just a sad story, man. And with that, on to the next, man. Y'all have a good one.